Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and I'm going to be doing a set of flashlight reviews, but I've decided to go after certain aspects of the flashlight space that are fairly narrow. In other words, there isn't a lot of competition in that particular form of lighting. I have done a few in the past. I did the through night catapult mini, this microscopic little thrower that was just incredible. The double tail cap tactical and outdoor Claris, my through night headlamp. I've got it out of its harness at the moment, but just a great idea with a lot of power. I'm going to be doing one on this Army Tech light. This is actually a really solid little light that's surprising me the more I use it. This showed up a long time ago. I'll probably do it again. This is a Surefire wrist light. It actually is a kind of a really unique space in lighting for various reasons, but not a lot of competition. So now what I'm going to do is go into another light. So initially we start out things kind of with the 18650 styles. They're about palm-sized, run on a fairly large battery, get a long runtime or high lumens, so you can see, what you're after here. This is actually a really good size, a palm light, but it is kind of thick around the waist, and there's room for other things if we're going after that everyday carry or EDC space. One way to approach it is going with a half size version. It's about the same diameter, but it's only half the length, and it uses a smaller battery. But check this out. This is the FOLOMOV EDC. It's just like a grown-up light, except it's tiny. A lot of the lights that are not full size, like this O-light here, they're great. I consider these more convenience lights rather than any push-button type of switch. They use a twist mechanism to work through generally one or two settings. It's a great light. I use it on my key ring. But convenience and emergency is kind of more where I fit this guy in. But if you want an operational light that behaves like the grown-ups but just is very tiny, this is amazing. And to my knowledge, there's nothing else like this. Nothing else this size. It is a very small light, but it also blasts out on its turbo mode 525 lumens, which is ridiculous. That's a ton of light for such a little tiny EDC carry. This particular one also has a few other settings. Its standard high is 150 lumens. It's got a medium setting of 50, a low of 10, and then of course it's got that wonderful moonlight that I love that actually gives you, in very dark areas, plenty of light for small tasks. It does have a few other features up its sleeve, like strobe. Sorry, should have given you a warning there. It's got SOS. And a beacon as well, and I can cycle through the different settings with just a quick push of the button. Notice, go to this setting here, this dissipates its spot rapidly. This is more of an area light. It is not a spotlight. It doesn't shoot out 100 yards like a lot of other lights, simply because that's not what it's for. It's an everyday carry light, so think about operating inside a room, or even on turbo mode, or even just high. You can move pretty fast across a forest floor, an uneven surface. This does provide plenty of light. The weight on this thing is, if I put it on my scale here, this guy is 8.85 ounces. It's not even an ounce, and that's with the battery. You go up to one of these size monsters here, and it's more than double the weight, and you do notice that, and it's a hefty diameter. And then you go up to these full-size ones, got to include the battery here. You're 3.8, almost 4 ounces. So that's almost 5 times what this guy is, and you don't notice this in your pocket, both in the diameter and in the weight. I'll compare it here to my Benchmade bug out. You can see this is just a little tiny guy, and if you look at the diameter, it's maybe twice, man, not even, whoops, get that focus there for you, maybe close to twice, little under twice the thickness of this exceedingly thin knife. Now, what do you use it for? Well, almost any EDC task. You just have a good solid light handy that performs like a grown-up light. I was impressed with this. A lot of lights have, the ability to slide onto a, to be tip up basically, or lens forward in the clip, and clip onto a hat. But because this is so light and so small, it actually works really well as an improvised headlamp on a baseball cap. I'm impressed with this guy. It actually, I've used it a bunch like this, and it shocks me. And sometimes I'll turn it off, and I've literally totally forgotten it. It doesn't cause the hat to move around on your head or weigh it down, whereas, any larger light generally does. It's super durable. It's anodized aluminum, rock solid. Inside here, we've got the O-ring sealing. So it's ingress protection 8. It's good to 6 feet or 2 meters underwater. No real chance for dust or anything to get inside here. The battery's charged with a micro USB right here on the battery, and it has this little light that lights up when you're charging it. So that also allows for no other openings. As you know, many lights that have some kind of a charging mechanism, either a proprietary or a little cap you have to pop off or something. On a light this size, that's just opening up a little bit more of a risk. Comes with a couple extra O-rings. Tiny little box. I mean, it's just a little tiny guy. So the more I use it, the more I'm impressed. It really does hit that EDC market. It's an impressive light. I would have no hesitation for just general carry. In fact, it's quickly become one of those things, if I lost it, I'd probably just go get another one right away. It's that good. And if you're interested in one, right now there is a sale on these guys. I was just informed today, or maybe it came in last night. It's on a kind of a 12-hour missed cycle with some of these companies. But on Amazon, there's a link in the description. You can get a good deal on these right now. But anyway, real simple light. If this is something that you're looking for, this kind of a light, this size of the light, you want grown-up features in a micro light, something that's going after the EDC space and something that you can, carry without noticing it really, it's great. The only problem I've noticed, sometimes I'm used to, magnets on things and, sticking it to things. This does not have a magnet. That also cuts weight. But it also means, because it's so light, sometimes these things get stuck to stuff. And I have pulled this out of areas simply because they've caught on things. In fact, I've done that on, some of my videos on tables because, it can be a little persnickety there. The other thing I've noticed is if you're wearing gloves, especially any kind of thicker gloves, this is so small that you're going to lose some of the feel of it. I mean, it's like holding a pencil or something with gloves. It's just going to be something you have to pay attention to because you don't have that full palm length of larger lights. So you aren't really able to grab on without anything but 2 fingers and a thumb. This doesn't index. This is a tail, or this pocket clip, hat clip does not move. Sometimes I like to index my lights by sliding these things around so I can find that button. It's at 180 degrees. That's how it works, and that's not a problem because it's so small it just disappears into your hand, so finding that button is really easy. But 2 fingers and a thumb. Real simple light. The runtime on this at 1 lumen is an astonishing 270 hours, 30 hours on low. So that's plenty of light for most things coming out of something this small. Anyway, consider something like that if you're looking for these tiny grown-up EDC lights. This is pretty amazing. And with that, Doc out.